Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is January 23rd, 2025. And we are on the brink of an altcoin recovery. But at the same time, many market participants are in complete dread of there not being an altcoin rally this cycle. Okay, they are completely calling off the quote-unquote alt season. At the same time, still yet there are even more market participants that don't see Bitcoin topping out here. All right, we're going to address all of that, right? And let me say it from the outset, there are many people who don't watch these videos, but that comment on the videos in, a derisive, kind of mocking way. You clearly don't watch the videos. Few things are happening all at once. You have to keep up, but it's not that hard, I promise you. 1, Bitcoin is at a macro top. We're expecting a large retracement from around this level of Bitcoin. 2, before the big retracement, we're expecting some sort of altcoin recovery. This is specifically for those altcoins that are on macro support. 3, there will indeed be an alt season, despite many market participants being completely dispirited at the fact that there will be one. We're going to address all of that and more. Guys, let's get started with Bitcoin. I want to show this chart because just graphically, it speaks so loudly, right? This is a channel of technical analysis where I'm not really relying on anything else. The premise is that everything is contained in the charts. Why? Because despite it being news, despite it being traditional markets, it should all be contained in the buying and selling habits of the market participants in the cryptocurrency space. You can see all of that in the candlesticks, okay? Depending on the time frame, you can see a lot, okay? And so I'm looking at this and I just don't see why it's so difficult to understand that we're at a local market top for Bitcoin, okay? This is clearly setting up to be some sort of rounded top, okay? At best, you're looking at a double top, okay? And one where you can even extend up to here, like we said yesterday, or not yet. Was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. We can get a wick up to around 115. I'm going to rehash that analysis, but I don't see Bitcoin moving that much more. And this has been true for quite some time. Obviously, there are many people that just love to criticize, and there's a lot that you can criticize about my analysis, but the idea that I've been wishy-washy or calling for anything other than a local market top at this level is disingenuous. Okay, that's been consistent. Even though we've been in a 60-day channel, more or less, right, at this local market top, and I've been reading it dynamically and calling, okay, this is it, or no, this is it. That's not really significant. I always preface those kinds of reads in saying, don't miss the forest for the trees, don't miss the most important analysis, which is that you're at a local market top. This is what should be informing your buying and selling habits, not necessarily a specific level, a specific price action over price, right? I can speculate and have fun and say, well, I think that 99 is the top, or I think that 115 is the max that we can extend to. But at the end of the day, the high time frame analysis stands, and it's been that for quite some time. All right, just look at this. I don't see much bullishness in this just looking at the daily chart. And again, remember what this is. This is a 10-year resistance that we're up against. 10 years. This channel, this blue channel right here, I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to make the video too long, but this blue channel represents 10 years of resistance that Bitcoin is up against. It's very, very, very likely that we do retrace from this level. And again, we've been dilly-dallying for 60 days, right? When you're meant to break serious resistance, you can consolidate at resistance, but typically you consolidate under resistance, not at resistance, under resistance, and break forcefully through it, okay, and then retest it. This doesn't look like that, all right? So that's the kind of high time frame, high vantage read, because I understand that sometimes there are new subscribers and they're like, wait, what are you talking about? Wait, you're bullish or bearish? Like, people don't know. So I'm trying to kind of make it easy on folks. The other thing is, do I think it's over? No, I think Bitcoin comes down to this more likely than not. Very high probability target of between 65 and 69 or 70K. Retest this inverse head and shoulders. Also retest the much larger multi-year inverse head and shoulders that you see here. So retesting previous resistance as new support. That's the principle, okay? And this is, again, really bullish because my thesis, and it's been that for many moons, is that the bull market starts here. Alt season in earnest starts here upon this retest. And this is true of any bull market in Bitcoin's history. I'm not going to make this video too long, so I'm not going to go into that analysis, but if you do any back testing, you'll see that prior to the start of any proper Bitcoin bull market, you've had a large move down, a large declension. It was quick, it was fast, and then from there you go into your bull market. So I don't expect anything different at this time. So that's kind of where I see Bitcoin. Okay, so let's get it straight. I'm bearish on Bitcoin in the medium short term. Okay, and as it stands, I can see us dilly-dallying at these levels for about a week more. Why a week? Okay, again, this is just speculative. This in no way invalidates my larger analysis. I know a lot of you guys have no clue what I'm doing here or what we're doing here. They think that if there's some small fault in my analysis, that means the whole thing's invalid. Well, if you're gonna trade like that, if you're going to sort of use that, then you're never going to do any kind of analysis, because no analysis is, well, let me speak for myself. My analysis isn't perfect. There are certain aspects that are off, but as an intelligent and a circumspect investor, what you should do is look at the higher time frame, higher probability read, look if it makes sense, do your own research, and then go by that, not necessarily the super speculative time prediction that sort of I'm making, because I'm thinking, well, in about a week we have a local market top coming, because that will be a new moon. So I can see Bitcoin taking about a week, giving altcoins about a week to run. So I think that makes sense. That you have to leave aside. I mean, you should. You don't have to do anything, but I would recommend you leave aside from your more from your investment decisions. Let me also say, I don't talk about what are these called, indicators, too much on the channel. And throughout my career, I've seen less and less dependence on indicators. I used to use EMAs a lot. I used to use a lot of stuff a lot. But more often than not, with time, I've become more confident in my reads of price action, and I feel like I like just looking at price action. I don't want to be skewed by indicators, and what I do is I first look at price action, and then I use indicators sometimes to support or deny my read on price action. I don't want to necessarily influence what I'm seeing in the candles, but candles first and foremost. And that being said, I'm looking at my stochastic RSI momentum indicator. As you can see here on the daily time frame, you're looking at something that's crossed bearish on the daily time frame right here. Okay, so that is an indication that Bitcoin is indeed looking to move down. Look here as well, we've got our megaphone pattern that we've been in. This is resistance, right? The top of this megaphone pattern. The bottom of this 60-day channel is resistance. We have more resistance up here. Again, Bitcoin's under a lot of selling pressure, under a lot of resistance. This is whatever it's been in. If you're bullish, you should not be encouraged. It's been very, very bearish looking. Okay, I mean, just look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is on the smaller time frame. I mean, you're putting in rounded tops after rounded tops on multiple time frames. You're just itching to lose the level. Okay, I don't once more think that this happens until altcoins that are on support move. Okay, so we've talked about Bitcoin. We've talked about why I'm low time frame, medium time frame bearish. Again, based off of my read of Bitcoin's price action on the high time frame, I see this as my third and final break of structure. Therefore, I can see a move up until the phi ratio of the inverse Fibonacci retracement level of this third and final break of structure, i.e. 115, like I said. That would take you up to the midline of this 60-day channel, 60 or 70-day channel, which is your kind of final resist. Well, it's not your final resistance, but it's like your third. So this is the resistance one. This is the second resistance. It's another resistance, okay? So I can see Bitcoin, if it were super bullish, moving to there and not further than there. And the premise of all of this is simply that if you have a break of structure, the ensuing counter wave cannot surpass or exceed the phi ratio, the 1618. Okay, so that's the premise. So yeah, I'm not really interested so much in what Bitcoin does in this corrective sequence. All I know that it is on its final legs of distribution, and this is exactly what I've been saying for quite some time. And I understand why some people are saying, "Oh, you're completely wrong." Well, yeah, because I get how people get impatient. They think if you call something, it should happen immediately. There's no sense in timing. This is a daily show. Some of these distributions do take a couple months or a few months. This one has taken 62 days already. So they're like, well, you said it was going to happen and it hasn't happened. Not understanding the process by which price distributes or accumulates. These things take time. Right? Despite this being a daily show, guess what? We don't have consequential moves on a daily basis. I wish we, well, I don't know if I wish we did. That would be a bit much. But that being said, this is what I'm seeing with Bitcoin. It hasn't really changed. It's been consistent, and nothing's really invalidated that. Okay, that general thesis has been consistent for a while. All right. Now, if you look at the general consensus, if you look at the market and market sentiment, it's very clear where we're at. All right, and I'm referring to the psychology of a market cycle, very famous sort of chart, And you can see here, people are talking about us being in a euphoria. It just doesn't make any sense. It's like, what's run? Nothing's run. Of the assets in cryptocurrency, there are about 25 to 30,000 different coins in the cryptocurrency market. Okay, we've had a few run here and there, but by and large, generally speaking, things are stuck in their bear market consolidations. I'm going to show you that in a moment as I talk about altcoins. Don't forget that. I'm going to show you that in a moment. So we're quite literally at the bottom of the bear market. And you can see depression throughout, okay? You can see people being depressed, saying, we're not going to have an alt season here. This is the first bull cycle where there's no alt season. Everybody tried to predict the start, but it never happened, right? Again, it goes back to my main thesis. We're not yet in a bull market. This is why alt season hasn't started. Alt season should, in theory, start with the bull market. You don't get a bull market without alt season. Although Bitcoin's gone from 16 to 100K, it hasn't been in a bull market. I understand that breaks a lot of people's brains, and I would have to refer you or, ask you to look at my video entitled The Great Crash of 2024, where I explain in detail why positive price action up and to the right does not necessarily a bull market make. But if you look at Bitcoin's price action, if you look at the rest of the cryptocurrencies, market's price action, Ethereum, right? Why haven't things moved? Because we're not in a bull market. It's just, Occam's razor, the simplest explanation. And I explain it in that video, using Elliott wave theory, which is my expertise, but showing how you're basically making a series of consolidations up and to the right, giving you kind of like that stair step. You know how a roller coaster gets up and up and up and up and gets ready to go to the top, and then the first move is what? Down. That's exactly what we're going to do. And then the ride starts, the twisties and all that, the loop-de-loops start after you go down, you reach the nadir, and then you start doing all that cool stuff. But typically, that is the process. First, you get to the level. That's what Bitcoin did. The bull market only starts upon the retest, okay? No alt season until degen starts screaming, no more altcoins. A lot of people are of the belief that the reason we're not getting an alt season is because there are too many assets in the cryptocurrency space and there's not enough liquidity, okay? I disagree with that. Crypto News says altcoin season is not going to happen, blah, 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 right? And, more and more people, you have big accounts, Rand Neuner I forget the channel, but it's a very, very big channel. We went deep into alt season territory with no results. Today, I'll show you why I think we'll never have an alt season again. This is quintessential depression. It's depression, right? These people, they're all market participants, right? There's one Bitcoin and 29,000 other altcoins, and they're likely exposed to one of those 29,000 or so assets. So it's in their interest. They want an alt season, but they're saying there's no alt season because they're depressed. My retirement money is lost. How can we pay for all of this new stuff? I am an idiot. And slowly you can see the next step is the price starts to go up and into the disbelief rally, because once it starts going up, they'll be like, wait, there's not supposed to be one. So this psychology of a market cycle thing is quite accurate. And I want you to pay attention. Look at the market, the price action right here. And look at this. I'm going to give you one example right here. I'm going to use this asset here. Okay. Look at the price action here. Okay. Look at that. Look at this range. right, that this asset's been in for the past few years, right? See, down to the side, and look at again what it looks like on the Wall Street cheat sheet, Psychology of a Market Cycle. Do you see what I mean? So basically the idea is bear markets consist of two aspects. One aspect that is down only, and another aspect that is sideways. Sideways and down, sideways and up, it doesn't matter, but it's sideways. It's basically buyers accumulating once again to prepare for the mark up. This is exactly what you're seeing here. Down only, sideways, preparing for the mark up. This is why people are depressed. They've lived through the down only, and they lived through the many years of sideways and, no positive price action. At some point, they lose hope, and they think, they've made mistakes. This is what you're seeing in the market, and you should also be feeling it to a certain extent, whether you know of this or not. It's normal and natural for you to feel a little bit of disillusionment by looking at your watch list and seeing so much red. It just, after a while, it gets to you, and it should. That's normal and natural. Okay. The last thing I want to say, when you're looking at the general sort of vibe in the cryptocurrency space, and I always use CT as a proxy for that, using crypto Twitter. Look, people are really excited about President Trump and, the news traders, I call them. They're looking for good news, and whatever's positive, they're looking for results or an effect of positive news, like a strategic reserve or whatever, and they're like, oh, that's going to pump the price. So look, signing an executive order signed to create a national Bitcoin and digital asset stockpile. Okay, that happened about an hour ago. What happened to Bitcoin despite that news? For those of you who keep trying to tell me, it's all news related and you should look at the news, and why do you only look at the charts? Well, one of the reasons I only look at the charts is because this is, in my experience, this is more accurate and more consistent and more logical than anything else. The news can only take you so far. I understand that certain times at certain points, news does yield immediate results or sometimes delayed results in the charts. But generally speaking, something like this, if this were going to pump, if this is going to basically be, if there are no rules, right, and it's basically just like whatever news comes out is what you're going to see, right? There are no general guidelines, all this TA's bullshit. Well, then why didn't we pump? It's a strategic reserve. You're going to stockpile crypto from here to kingdom come. Why didn't we pump? We're bearish despite that. This is why I'm saying, show me the charts and I'll tell you the news. And for those of you who don't believe it, that's completely fine. But in my experience, years of doing this, the news doesn't mean anything. Yes, we get sometimes some moves based off of certain news, and you can see that. If a coin rebrands, or if something is announced, sometimes you can see, especially in lower liquidity assets, results. You can see certain effects. But by and large, generally speaking, making important decisions based on news is crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. All right, that's enough about general sentiment and psychology. Let's talk about altcoins, because again, there's one Bitcoin, 25 to 29,000 other assets in crypto, and most of those are altcoins that we're all invested in. And one of the reasons we're depressed is because those haven't moved. How do we know those haven't moved? Obviously, other than the exception here and there, they haven't moved because look, our Bitcoin dominance chart is still at all-time highs. Okay, this is Bitcoin dominance. It's a measure of Bitcoin's dominance vis-a-vis the rest of the cryptocurrency market. If Bitcoin dominance is going up, that means Bitcoin's gaining against altcoins in market cap. That means Bitcoin's going up, altcoins aren't doing much. or Bitcoin's going down, altcoins going down more, okay? Vice versa means Bitcoin dominance is going down, altcoins are flying, Bitcoin staying still, right? That's basically alt season. That's what you see in a bull market. We haven't seen that for quite some time. We haven't seen that ever since the 2021 move, right? So that's, 4 years. About 4 years ago, we haven't seen that, right? We've been going up. So now let's go back to this area right here in the chart of Bitcoin dominance and see why an altcoin recovery is right around the corner. It is right around the corner. It's especially when people get depressed, right? It's darkest before the dawn type thing, right? This on the smaller time frame is 100+ day resistance, and it seems as if we're hitting our head against this resistance, and it looks like on the smaller time frames we're finally getting a resolute rejection. Look at our stochastic RSI momentum indicator from this resistance. All right, again, why is this resistance? Because it was support for 100 days. It broke down, came back, and retested previous support, now as new resistance. And again, that first move should come down to this level. This is where I'm taking profit for the first time, a big profit on these altcoin moves. But I think that is going to start sooner than later, judging by this chart, okay? The other thing I want to show you is look at, once again, the altcoins that have yet to move from their bear market lows, okay? I'm just giving you one example, one or two examples here, all right? I talk about these quite a bit, but this is something, once again, that went through the entire bear market, down only, side to side, right? This is depression. You're getting ready to come out of the doldrums, the dark spaces of bear market accumulation. But look, these altcoins haven't done anything. They're in their bear market accumulations, quite literally. This is the depression phase of the psychology cheat sheet. So what I'm saying is an altcoin recovery means a move up, and that move up has to come before Bitcoin goes down. Why? Because there's nowhere for these to go. You've spent hundreds of days, years forming support levels, and those support levels are likely to hold. Ergo, when you go on the smaller time frame, let's go on the 4-hourly, you can see you're putting in some sort of accumulation, and on the even smaller time frame you're putting in really bullish falling wedge accumulations. Again, falling wedges are very high probability accumulation bullish reversal patterns, okay? They're both reversal patterns and accumulation patterns. And as you can see here, you have put in a pattern that's likely to pop out, retest, and go, okay? You're literally at the final stages of this down and to the right accumulation in Balancer. You can see that in some way, shape, or form in a lot of different altcoins that are still in their bear market accumulations, okay? And so this is why people are feeling like they're feeling. This is why you should probably be feeling like you're feeling. And this is why a lot of people are giving up on the entire space. But this is precisely when you shouldn't give up. Again, bear market, down only, and then bear market, side to side accumulation. This is where you start moving up. You're quite literally at the lowest of the low. You should feel that. It should feel very nerve-wracking. It should feel like, wait, what am I doing with my life? What am I doing with my money? Is this even right? This is what you should feel. And if you don't feel that, I don't know. Maybe you're different. But this is what we're expecting. A move up from these lows. You can't go any lower, in theory, right? probabilistically speaking, you're at your lowest point. So I did want to share this with everyone to kind of encourage people not to give up if you're invested, not to give up if you have hopes for an altcoin recovery. We're right around the corner. Once again, our bullish bias not only comes from looking at the charts, but also our stochastic RSI momentum indicator is showing a likely reversal right here. Go on the daily, right? You can see you're putting in what you would call a confirmed bullish divergence, a lower low on the chart, a higher low in the momentum indicator, showing that the next move is more likely than not up and to the right. Again, you can see evidence of a falling wedge here that's likely to break up and out. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Just to recap 3 things. Bitcoin is at a local market top. I do expect it to go down. But before that happens, we're likely to get an altcoin recovery as a result of what I just showed you. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider buying me a coffee, i.e. tipping me, by sending me Venmo, sending me Cash App, or sending me Litecoin, all at the pinned comment below. And do consider my crypto portfolio consultation and mentorship service, which is going to prepare you to choose assets that are going to run with a high degree of probability in the bull market, because not everything is going to run. Certain assets have to consolidate for entire bull markets before getting ready to do this, and some people don't understand that concept. Some people don't know how to identify which altcoins with a high degree of probability are likely to yield good results in the coming bull market. So I help you do that for up to 5 assets, 1 to 2 hours, one-on-one with me every month, $150 per month. You can sign up on buymeacoffee.com, all at the pinned comment below. Guys, take care. I hope you're well, and I wish you gains very soon. Goodbye.